Welcome to Woolspective, the perspective of wool. Hope your morning going well. Today I thought I'd bring y'all a short little freestyle, some things I thought that would help you maybe change your perspective, look at life a little differently. And when I say change your perspective, I just mean, do the same things you was doing, but from a different intention and a different light, and ultimately push yourself to reach that goal that you want to get done. So some of the things I was thinking about, and most of the things I was just like, what's some things that would have helped me out, 3 years late or 3 years ago, and how can I crunch them down into like short little sayings, not sayings, but just short little summaries that may help the person out there that's struggling with that. Once again, it's an early morning for me, so I'm trying to gather my thoughts as well. And the weather hasn't been the best today. As you can see, we looking a little gloomy. We just had like, I want to say 4 back-to-back sunny days, so it's a little different, but I still like it. Birds out, yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna go over is a saying that we've all heard, and it's called, the saying goes, spend your time wisely. And I want to start with this one because it's definitely one of the most important, and it's simple to go over and think about. So like, the big thing is start to treat your time like money. Don't let negative things take up your time, and don't let negative people take up your time. And start to spend your time in areas that you think will benefit you. I'm spending an hour here in the gym, and I'm spending an hour here learning about something that I want to. So when you start to like give out your time and think of it like currency, you are able to also look at the things that you have benefited from spending your time here. That person that goes to the gym every year, he looks down the line and sees, I spent my time in an hour in the gym every day, and now I look at my body and I look at my health and I see that return on investment, versus the person who spends his time on the couch, spends his time eating high-fat foods, or spends his time just doing negative things and being lazy. He's going to see that return on investment in a negative way. And we can use this with the scholar who spent his time learning versus the fool who spent his time always playing, So that's one thing we can do to just help us utilize our time and look at it from a light that's going to benefit us. But the thing is, it does get tricky here, and it can be confusing, because a lot of us do correlate or make the correlation of spending time and looking at time as comparing time to money. And that's why a lot of us do spend most of our time trying to get money, because the two are so closely related. But we have to acknowledge this and get out of this trap, because the person that spends his time doing 80-hour work weeks or 70-hour work weeks and has no other time to sharpen his mind, help his body, whatever it may be, create long-lasting relationships, he doesn't have the time to do that because he spent it all chasing money. So I suggest we get out of that habit and just try and find a balance with our life, spending some time, getting money because it's a need, but also spending time with our health, spending time with our mind, and spending time with our loved ones. So yeah, that's the first one. That's the most common one. And yeah, I just hope we can all look at it from a different perspective. And if we've heard of these things before, and uh, and have seen the progress in the past, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to utilize this again if we have found ourselves falling off, or forgetting about these tools and these tips or ways of thinking. The second tip I want to give is something I thought of this morning, and it is practice your patience with procreation. So I know most of us think of procreation as bringing a child into this world, or bringing a child into this world. That's the only definition, I'm pretty sure. But because we think of it like this, we can use this to our advantage when practicing patience. A lot of us who have goals of achieving pro status, what I like to call pro status, or becoming a professional, understand that patience is 100% needed to even think of achieving that. Even me, I see it with just starting this channel, and just seeing how slowly these first couple of videos have, been growing. I need to understand that it's going to take patience. So in order to become a pro at something, you have to practice patience, and you have to almost become a pro at patience before you can become a pro at whatever the thing you may be. And we can use this with anything. If you want to be a carpenter, NBA player, an artist, you have to practice the patience first, put in the time, and sometimes you won't see any results until later, whether it be months, years down the line. So we have to practice our patience by becoming a pro and creating something. That's the key. You have to create something, and you have to want to strive for that pro status. So that's the second thing, and I hope this helps some of us think about not easy ways, but a good way to, kind of hack our mind to be able to practice our patience if we are an impatient person. But we're able to practice that patience because we have the goal of becoming a pro at something else. Yeah. What is the last thing? It's damn near getting a little chilly out here, so I'm definitely gonna wrap this video up. But if y'all made it this far into the video, I want to say I appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all could leave a comment. I don't really care too much about the subscribers and the likes, to be honest. I just want feedback, so leave a comment if you can, and I'm gonna continue to put out these videos. Last thing is, it's not about what you know, it is about what you use. There's so many of us that just think we know everything, or we might know a lot, but we don't utilize any of that knowledge that we so-called have learned. And I think this is a downside of the internet age, but it can also be a plus because because we have access to so many knowledge, we also have the opportunity to take so much action. No other generation could look up, how do I become a software engineer? How do I become a carpenter? How do I, anything? Write down the first couple steps and put it into action that same day. They had to go to the library, study, do all these things, which we also have to do, but they just didn't have that. They didn't have the turnover that we have. We can look up something in one day and already be doing it the next day. So that's one thing I want to highlight the importance on is, yes, you might have the knowledge, but how much are you using it? And that could come that could come to simple things like this video. Y'all might hear all these things, but if you're not using it, then it's really no point. And why is my eye watering? That's crazy. But yeah, so utilize this knowledge and utilize whatever you learn in life to be able to propel yourself forward. Don't just store that knowledge and think that's good enough. You have to use it. But that's going to be all for today. I don't know what was happening in this video with just not being able to think about certain topics, and a random tear that popped out my eye. It was definitely the wind, y'all. But yeah, appreciate y'all tapping into Woolspective, the perspective of wool. Hope y'all have a good day, and tune in next time.